Hello and welcome to SoBricks. I'm Adam and this is SoBricks. This is my channel for reviewing Lego sets and building them and other Lego related stuff. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the Lego 2021 Swing Ship Ride. This was a promotional set. I believe it was initially supposed to be for uh, Children's Day or something like that, and it was released. I think the spend to get it as a gift with purchase was like $85 or something like that back in 2021, and it was a whole thing. This set comes out with different numbers, or is listed with different numbers. The one I have here is 6373621. It has 152 pieces, and I actually didn't get this as a promotional item. I bought this from a local store. I paid $15 for it. I used store credit. That was not the best deal. Seems like on Bricklink and other places, this is probably available sealed for $5, or it's not a super desirable set. It does have 152 pieces. I want to say this is printed, but I'm not actually sure if it is. It looks like there's a commemorative kind of piece here that says Godt 2021, LEG space GODT. That is Danish for play well, I believe, and that is where Lego gets its name from. So I thought it was kind of interesting for that. Looks like a small little fun little build, and some interesting colors in here. So I still wanted to pick this up. I probably way overpaid. I think I'm going to struggle to say that, oh, I got my money's worth, or this was good value, or anything like that. But it is an interesting item nonetheless. It comes in one of these boxes that's kind of the generic box with the instruction manual front page kind of serving as the box art here. And so it's just a different kind of thing. And I am excited to look into it. So in this video, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to put this together, and then I'm going to share my thoughts on it. While I build, I will speed the video up, and then I'll slow it back down to review this set. So until then, enjoy. Okay, so while we look at the build for this Lego promotional gift with purchase ship swing ride, I just wanted to say thanks for watching, and then remind you, if you like this video, click the thumbs up. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button. That helps me a lot, and it means a lot to me, and it makes me happy, and it is very, very nice. So please do that. I appreciate it. And then the build for this, very simple, micro scale. It comes together very, very quick. We're sort of building up the stand for this, and then we can actually work on the swing ship itself, which has some fun little brick built details in there, and then we can attach that to the whole assembly and play with it a little bit, and that is it. So now on to my review for this set. Okay, so here we have this Lego gift with purchase or insiders exclusive. This is from 2021. Like I said at the beginning, it was for Children's Day, maybe, but then kind of not, and it was renamed, and I think it's just called the ship swing ride or something like that. This is nice. I mean, this is a fine little thing here, and I have some thoughts about it, so we will get into it. And there are no minifigures in this set, so we don't have that to look at. But the first thing I actually wanted to look at is the instructions, because this did come in one of those boxes that are sort of generic, and they use the instructions as the kind of box art there. So a very simple box. Oh, I do have the extra pieces for later. And this one, these instructions are some of my least favorite Lego instructions that there are. For certain sets, for poly bags, for different stuff, maybe it makes sense to do them this way. But the first thing I notice is that it opens in the wrong way that I'm used to them opening. And that is because this is like a big fold out instruction thing here. Now, this is, pretty long, and it's not terribly wide, but this set has 47 steps here, and this instruction's like a lot of stuff. I do not really like these things, not only because it's a bother to work with in like my recording setup. I probably could have found these online. I just didn't do that. Normally I do. But I don't know what the online instruction situation was like. That probably would have been better. But even if I wasn't building this where I record videos, uh, I still would have a problem with this. It just gets unwieldy, and having it to like unfold part of it and then flip it around or flip it up or do different stuff was a little bit unfortunate. So I did not like this instruction at all. I mean, other than that, it's somewhat standard. I'm glad they don't do instructions like this all that often. I don't know if this is like a specifically um like international copy or anything like that. I think it's just kind of the generic one, but occasionally like regional stuff might have differences like that, but I'm not 100% sure. So I didn't love the instructions for this, but actually building the thing was fine. The other thing that a lot of times in these boxes, I feel like I get almost the equivalent of like a Ziploc bag or something. And I have one here for something that I'll cover in a different video, which is another one of these. And I kind of want to check to see if this is done in that way. So these bags also look just kind of average or normal. Kind of, for some reason, I felt like some of these that come in these kind of generic boxes are in like a Ziploc bag, not like a actual like heat sealed bag or whatever they do. So maybe I'm misremembering something, but anyway, we have this. It's sort of a micro scale kind of swing ride carnival thing on a little base, so it becomes a little display thing. I don't think there's anything like specifically super Lego about this, although I'll get more into that in a little bit. But it almost reminded me of some of like the scales and kind of display oriented kind of stuff that they did for like was it the 100 Years of Play, or a different like the Lego House set, or any of the Home of the Brick Lego House exclusive sets. Not any of them, but some of them, and different stuff. It kind of reminded me of that, but I don't believe there's anything like super specifically Lego about this. So it is just kind of a micro scale build for a swing ride. The base it starts off with is very straightforward. It doesn't use an 8x8. It uses two 4x8s there. We build that up with some bricks, actually a good amount of just bricks in here, 1x4s, throughout there. I actually think the base looks really good here. It doesn't look, it's not too bulky. It doesn't carry too much weight, but it is like very stable, I would say. And it's got some nice details there. So the one thing that I was like pretty excited about, this is printed. It does say Le Godt, which means play well in Danish, which is where the Lego company got their name, I believe, and it has 2021 on it. So that's kind of a commemorative thing there, which is nice. We use some like pillars here, using these nice like fence gate kind of ornamental wrought iron things in gold around there is very cool as well. So I appreciate that. So that is on 3 sides, and then has the plaque on the other side. Then building up, we kind of lay the groundwork for this, and it is kind of neat because it's a micro scale thing. So we use like this vented slope piece as maybe the suggestion of like stairs. And then we use these fence pieces, which are like the 1x4s, as almost like a line for a ride, kind of the like corral for a ride there. And then over in the corner, we use those tiles that have the walls on, or like the panel style walls on 2 of the 4 sides. So they make a corner and they kind of make that basket there. So you can imagine like super micro figures kind of climbing up here and waiting in line there. We do have the printed tile, which is like that dial piece, or kind of some sort of meter or something, maybe for controls. The other side actually has a very similar thing here for a line of people, or maybe this is the exit line or something like that. A lot of places have like an exit going one way, or an entrance going one way and an exit coming out a different way, just to ease the flow of traffic. I think that makes sense. So that's a fine little detail. Also looks cool. And then we spend some time building the boat itself. So this is something that is meant to swing. It does use a little bit of Technic. And so it uses actually these half beams here for the main kind of swinging. And so This can move a bit, and you can see like the extended pin there. So it can move back and forth a little bit. I'm not too worried about it coming off or anything like that. So that is fine, but then it does connect kind of to the rest of the structure that's sort of housing it. The build for this is good. You know, this piece down here is a piece I don't see used super often. It's almost like a hull piece or something, but it's only 2 studs wide, but it is like an oddly shaped piece. Nice to get that blue color. And then we build like the 2 sides of this. There is the kind of the suggestion of seating in there, and it might be hard for me to show, but just underneath these pieces, there's kind of this light blue there, and those are kind of the like bucket type pieces. It's almost like if you fused 2 of these corner type pieces together. So there's no studs on the inside, they're open on the inside, and that's fine. Actually, why don't I take this out so we can see that a bit easier. And I'm not sure how easy it will be to get out of here, put it back in. Shouldn't be too destructive. None of this is like catastrophic, I don't think. But that'll just show what I mean a little bit better. So down in there, there's kind of that little bucket piece in there. We have the Technic that's like built up for these rails or these half beams. And then we have the 2 sides, and I don't know if these are supposed to be like can't never remember the name of like the Lego dragon that is at various like Legolands and Lego stores, and even featured in some of the like Lego store sets that might have the dragon in there. I know I've covered those on the channel before, so I don't know if it's supposed to be that, but it kind of has a sort of like dragon type head here. We got maybe like teeth or different stuff, kind of a tongue in the mouth, kind of the upturned like nose, snout, kind of ears or horns, maybe eyes back there. If it's not a dragon, it feels like some sort of face, you know, especially at this angle, like some sort of head. And I think like on a ship ride like this, if it's like a Viking ship or something like that, or just a fantasy thing, a dragon feels really appropriate. And there is some connection to dragon stuff with Lego itself. And this is only like 2 studs wide, a little bit wider because of the beams here. Again, it's like very micro scaled down. The build for this is really straightforward. There's a little bit of bracket use, but for the most part, it is straightforward. And then when we have this all like disassembled, we can see sort of this area underneath that is vented, and these kind of cheese wedges here as well, and the rest is tiled out. And then when we put this together, we have these kind of what would I call these sort of supports system that like house this. They just attach on the 4 studs kind of around the line area there, and we can kind of get those set up. They are a distance apart so that like these won't be, you know, in all the way, or they'll kind of sit in the middle there. And these actually are a little bit unstable because they just use these kind of tall 1x1 brick pillar things there, and we put an arch on top of that, and then we actually don't connect them to each other until the final piece. Nice use of kind of this octagonal piece or this wheel piece on both sides, a bracket in there, Technic brick in there, some more kind of slope pieces or archway pieces there. And I do like how this kind of stuff covers up some of the space in there. And then we just put the 2x6 with the couple little kind of light blue mound tile things up there as well. I know when I was putting this together, and even when I was handling it now, like this, I think is not crazy stable in terms of like even just handling this and fidgeting with it. It's maybe not meant for that, but I did find that some of these connections were a little bit lacking, not because of the clutch power was lacking, but just like structurally it's not a terribly sound build in my opinion. So but not a problem. And then yeah, this can swing back and forth, so it actually swings nicely quietly for the most part. It can't swing all the way around. It can't swing all the way around. If we were to pop off the top, Maybe it can, or definitely it can, but I don't know how that impacts the stability even more, just because there's not that extra kind of brace there. But we can get that to spin all the way around and kind of do some flips like that. But when we have the kind of crossbar up there, it doesn't allow for that, which is fine and is good for the riders, I suppose. And that's kind of everything here. It's a very small set, and it was like a promotional item. I don't know what the significance of all this is necessarily. It feels very like carnival ride or fair or amusement park. I don't know if there are specific like Danishisms in this, or um, things like that, or if there's some other specific like Lego and the Lego company stuff in this. Just, I mean, the tile itself is its own kind of cool thing, but the rest of it is like a pretty standard little build. It doesn't feel like super Children's Day to me or anything else like that, and it is from several years ago, so I don't really know. I mean, it's not a particularly special set, and I think to me the only special thing is that like it wasn't, it's not a retail set, so it wasn't like available. And then this tile is specifically is something, as like a Lego fan, I think is really, really cool. And the rest of it is all pretty standard pieces, nothing like too crazy, besides maybe this like blue kind of boat hull type piece there, which actually is used for a hull on this sort of swing ship ride. Other than that, it's very, what you see is what you get. I mean, I do like some of this stuff here. It's a fine looking little display thing. It could be put on a shelf. It could be put whatever. The footprint's relatively small. It doesn't work, quite like, what do they call those? Like Edison balls or something like that. But there's some little like fidget value to this, and it could sit on a desk, and that is fine. So it's a neat little thing here. I don't know if it's necessarily display oriented. I think on some level it is. And it just kind of is what it looks like. So it's a very small, very simple thing, and there's not like a ton to get into. I will show the extra pieces because you do get some. I had them in a little bag there. Just your one by ones, your studs, your tiles. You do get an extra of that kind of meter, or thermometer, or speedometer, or whatever this is. Control panel there, a couple pins, one by ones, and then a couple studs. So those are all the extra pieces. And this set is 152 pieces. I paid, what did I pay for this? $10 or $15 for this. I think the going rate for this on like Bricklink is probably $5, maybe even less, depending on where you're getting it. I got this, I used store credit. I got it from like a bricks and minifigs store. If you know anything about bricks and minifigs, they will buy your sets for relatively below value, perhaps before below market value. They might sell things for above market value or at market value. That's kind of their whole business model. So sometimes their prices aren't like comparable, for especially for retired stuff or hard to find stuff or exclusive stuff or gift with purchases. Their prices are whatever. Retired stuff, stuff that's already built or used. It depends. But like for retail stuff that they're getting that's like on the shelves, it's usually like MSRP at places like that. So there's a different thing there. So I definitely could have gotten this for cheaper, but I saw it on the shelf. I had some store credit, whatever, and I thought this tile was really cool. Glad it's not a sticker, and so I wanted to pick this up. I did not get a good deal on this, and it's not good value for the price I paid. I would say, 10 cents per piece, whatever. But like getting this for $5, I would say, yeah, this is more than a poly bag. This is like more involved than a poly bag. It's more volume than a poly bag. So at that price, I think it's a sure thing. I mean, even $10, fine. I don't know what Lego put on this as sort of like an arbitrary MSRP when it was available as a gift with purchase. I think the gift with purchase spend was $85 in 2021. And a lot of times with gift with purchases, or sometimes even like those insider exclusive, I think they do put a dollar value on them. And I don't know what it was for this one. I'm imagining it was probably not that much. This doesn't feel like a $15 set. I don't think it is, but I do like this tile, and I'm glad I was able to look at it and talk about it. So thank you to that Bricks and Minifigs. Thank you to anybody who watches. And I think that's it. I'm just grateful and happy, and, let Goat play well. That is terrific. So that is okay. And I think that's it. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up and give it a like. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button down below so you can stay up to date on all the Lego videos I'll be doing here in the future, including this other kind of generic box one, which is a 3-in-1, also something I paid too much for. I bought it at the same time as this. And then tons of other Lego sets from all different themes, all different shapes, size, price point, piece count, owned sets, new sets, retired sets, used sets, exclusive sets, gift with purchases, big sets, small sets, all sorts of different stuff. And so if you're interested, subscribe. That helps me a lot. If you want to support the channel, you can do that. Membership, supers, and thanks, Patreon, buy me a coffee, merch, affiliate links, all of that good stuff. That really, really helps, and I appreciate it. So thank you very much. And with all of that said, until next time, thanks. Bye.